It's been a full year since I ordered my 2023 Model Y Performance. Here's my experience living with the car, making upgrades, and using it to its fullest over the last 15,000 miles. The buying experience is incredibly smooth. As you probably heard, everything is done through the app. I got approved for a loan and signed up for Tesla insurance on a Monday, picked up the car on a Thursday in Santa Barbara.
Is this your car?
This was mine.
Ooh.
They gave me a 10-minute introduction to the car, but all I remember was a sincere warning to give myself plenty of space while I got used to how fast it accelerates. That turned out to be good advice. On the way home, I stopped by to meet a Craigslister selling brand new wheels and tires from his Model Y. I had already decided I wanted to switch to 19-inch wheels and match tires all around. This was his other car. The 21-inch Uberturbines that come on the performance model are cool looking, but they're extremely heavy, easy to curb, and they can't be rotated. Naturally, we had to play with the light show and play some end of the year music. We gotta shut this thing off. The 19-inch Gemini wheels and tires went on the shelf until I could swap them over. Priority was getting a temporary charging solution up and running with the mobile charger. And for the first time here at home, I've got 240 volt charging. And it's giving me about 15 miles of range per hour, it looks like. So yeah, 20 amps is where I've got it limited to. We're at 232 volts, 240 to 232. That's right at the 3% drop that the NEC says is allowable. So that's working pretty good. And also, I pulled this out of the dump months ago. This is actually a Toyota charger, and I put the Tesla charge adapter on there, and wouldn't you know, it actually works. It works just like the Tesla charger. I get a 120 volt 12 amp charge out of that. And I don't really have much of a use for that, but I'm sure I'll come up with something eventually. So I knew I would be hauling all kinds of stuff, so I bought a full set of weather mats from Tesmanian, along with bins for the frunk and trunks. Tesla Model Y storage, check this stuff out. So bottom bin, go and look on it in there. Bottom bin drops down here. Second bin stacks on top. Then we have platform 1. Goes there. Platform 2 stays up when you open it, which I'm in love with. On top of platform 2 and platform 1 is the new weather mat, which also, oh, it's a nice tight fit. Freaking love these. So much storage. And here's the drop. Pull these. Nice flat cargo area. Stoked on that. Inside here, passenger area. These really nice fitting, well, mat, not mats, but a single mat all the way across, which is great. And in the front, they fit just like a glove. And there's actually even a section that goes underneath the seat. Really high sides, good fit. They do have Velcro on the bottom, but you don't really even need it because they can't move around even if you wanted to move them. So pretty stoked on this system. I didn't love the look of the Gemini 19s in silver, so I looked into HyperDip and bought a full dip kit. The application process isn't easy, but it is straightforward, and you can get a great result if you do your homework and pay attention to details. The finish I chose is a dull bronze with just a little bit of sheen called Brass Monkey, and it's super satisfying when you get to the point of peeling over spray off of the tires and seeing the dipped wheels emerge. I bought a few extra cans to ensure coating thickness, and I'm really happy with the look and the long-term durability. I take the car through a semi-automated car wash weekly, and there's no sign of peeling, even a year later. There's plenty of demand out there for the 21-inch Uberturbine, so as a bonus I was able to sell them for $1,100 more than I paid for the 19-inch Geminis, and the increased acceleration from the reduced rolling mass was a nice surprise too. I had such good results with HyperDip that I also coated my wife's wheels in anthracite. I'm not affiliated, but I definitely recommend their products. I had Xpel paint protection film applied to the front of the car, and it came loose in some places, but my installer fully backed up his work, reapplied it, and ensured it was perfect before giving it back to me. He also tinted the windows, and the reduction in UV and heat makes that a no-brainer where I live. The whole car was then ceramic coated, and it cleans up today as well as it did then. Unfortunately, the stock wireless phone charger was kind of slow, so I added an Apple 15-watt MagSafe charger, and I made a whole video about how I did that modification. I'll link it here, but here's me testing out the true charging speed for the first time. Okay, here's a test of the Apple MagSafe charger on a RAM mount. iPhone 15 Pro Max attached, and we're charging. Here's where I've got it wired in. We're reading power delivery at the 9 volt level, and amperage is ramping up, as you can see. phone is just in standby mode. There's 15 watts flowing through the meter. It's 19.8 watts flowing through the charger. Wow, I'd have to say that probably does mean we're getting full-on 15-watt charging to the phone from the MagSafe charger. That's pretty great. I also made a video testing out the power capabilities of the USB-C ports both in the front and on the rear of the center console. And this should apply to Model Ys as well as Model 3s with USB-C. I had noticed that different things would happen when I had 1 or 2 devices plugged in, and finally I was able to get to the bottom of it. So if you're interested in those details, I'll link to that video here too. The front ports are unrelated to the rear ports we know now. The rear ports can give you 26 per port. The front ports can give you 26 per port or 36 on a single port. So how do you test an old 1960s Kohler generator with a 4-cylinder Continental rated at 10 kVA? The only thing I've got around here that can put that kind of load on it is my 2023 Tesla Model Y. And if that's not enough, I can give 1,400 more watts with the heat gun in here. So let's see what she does. Looks like I need to start it manually. There we go. 32 amps is the maximum that the mobile charger will do. We're at 28, 30, 31, 226 volts. Let's go look at it from the other end. Just hooking out the amps. There we go. Looks like we're maxing out the capacity on this sucker. Let's unload this thing. Hear the generator change tone as you unload it. Turn off the heater. Back to idle. Shut her down. Not bad for old iron. I bet this thing would do it all day long. You gave it gas and kept it cool. It's so fun just connecting this old technology with the new stuff. And it turns out a Tesla is a test tool for an old generator. My previous daily driver was a 2011 Smart car. I sold it to a friend of mine and I was able to deliver it to him with the new car. When the car you're trailering is only 1,800 pounds, then a utility trailer turns out to be a car trailer, and the load is well within the Tesla's capabilities. The car's doing great. It's really easy. It's got all the torque. You just set it on cruise control. Even just pressing the accelerator regularly doesn't even feel all that different. I don't think I've tapped the brakes yet. Just been using regenerative braking. And I think I was averaging something like 560 watt hours per mile. So not quite 2x, but yeah, so far so good. I may be able to get just one big deep charge here and then one more, but it may actually be more effective just to cut this one short and come into the next one nice and low and get that low state of charge, high kilowatt boost. So anyways, I'm gonna let this charge, and this is my favorite charging stop for obvious reasons. And it's not the Chevron. In wide open California, it's easy to find pull-through chargers that accommodate a trailer. In cities, I've had to unhitch the trailer in a parking lot adjacent to the charge stalls, but now that Tesla Trailer Mode plans routes with pull-through chargers automatically, it should be even easier. I averaged 595 kilowatt hours per mile towing the smart car at normal freeway speeds, and that's basically 2 times my long-term efficiency. Not bad for twice as many cars, and terrible aerodynamics. I've also hauled loads of firewood a few times, along with my dirt bike and camping supplies out to the desert for multi-night stays. I'm pretty tall, so I was thrilled to find out I could sleep in the back of the car, fully stretched out, and using camp mode to keep me warm. I find the Y can carry a lot inside the car too. I got thumbs up from folks at the local range with this load. Here's outdoor tools to fix for my mother-in-law. I transport plenty of yard and home supplies, and of course our newest precious cargo, Duck the dog. As people who take our dogs everywhere with us, dog mode is pretty awesome. July of 24, I went to the Tesla Invasion at the Madonna Inn in San Luis Obispo. Kind of geeky, but fun too. I saw some really clever camp setups for Cybertrucks and Model Ys, as well as an FUV from Archimoto, my worst investment ever, and it was really cool to see Cyber Hooligan Cyber Roadster up close just before we painted it. While I was there, I also bought a sexy commander, knob, and a couple buttons since they were on sale. I thought the install was well thought out and clean. You just insert their adapter into the car's communication bus so that the commander can receive and send messages, kind of like CAN bus. The commander has Bluetooth to communicate with the phone app and also wirelessly communicates with the knob and buttons. The knob looks like an OEM match for the car, and it has quite a few features that I thought were missing from the Tesla main screen, like manually turning on preconditioning, manual fan control, and moving the passenger seat. And now I've got a button for the glove box, which should have always been there, but this works. The Y doesn't have a spare tire, but it did get this Tesla air compressor and sealer kit free using points I earned from referring my wife to take a test drive. I don't have full self-driving, but I've really enjoyed the trials, and it's improved tremendously just in 2024. Actual Smart Summon is pretty fun to play with, but I only tested it in the real world once at a Home Depot parking lot where the car is almost certainly a better driver than most of the human drivers. Well, this car has been a welcome addition to the family. Even with some quirks, it's easily the best all-around vehicle I've owned, and it continues to impress me with its inherent capabilities and new features over the air all the time. There are links to the upgrades in the description. Happy to answer questions in the comments. Thanks for watching.